Yeah, and I think what it is a lot of sitcoms, like Lo mentioned earlier, are kind of just there to be on, and they kind of just portray a pretty interesting little snapshot of the culture as it existed while the show was running. And so, like, cultural problems kind of just eke into the show, and the writers aren't even thinking about it because I don't think a sitcom is anybody's magnum opus as far as writing, for television. I think sitcoms are just kind of things that writers, they come and they go on, and they just put in their 2 cents and move on to something bigger. And so, like, sitcoms tend to be very samey, and I don't want to say lazy, but they definitely, they don't...
Well, because it's on purpose. It's not like they're just doing the same thing over and over again because it's easy. And I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but also because it sells and they know their audience is usually people that are, especially like the 90s and before, it's people who are sitting down at the same time every week to see what, good old so-and-so is getting into this week. And that sells, and so they had to work with that. And I think that's also part of the reason why the formula is starting to change a little, because the way that we experience TV, especially our generation and generations younger than us, are experiencing TV very differently. We're all moving to binging and watching whenever we feel like it. We don't have to sit down at the same time every week to see a show. I honestly could not tell you what day of the week any of the TV shows that I watch are on. I just check Hulu, or I check, the CW TV app, and like, I kind of am like, I think that this show was on last night, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, and it's a very different world that we're living in as far as media consumption. So I think that can be part of the way that we've sort of moved away from that very classic, everything is exactly the same, and we're starting to see things like The Good Place, where it just completely changed its status quo at the end of season 1, and then it did it again at the end of season 2. And I'm so excited for season 3, but I don't think that would have worked 10 years ago.